You swaggy today.
We are here.
You swaggy
downstairs.
today.
How's it go?
Welcome.
Welcome to
You welcome them.
welcome to the downstairs. We are here.
We
I
are
appreciate
here.
that. I appreciate that.
We are here.
TJ.
You're looking swaggy. You got mad chain. You got two of them
Here's
on.
the thing. So, here's the thing. Part of my outfit is especially juicy, especially sexy, some would say, especially suave, some would say, is this beanie.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the cargos.
No. Although, yeah, but no, the beanie. And this beanie, guess how I got it?
Just stole it.
It says RSEO, which I don't know if you're familiar, because I wasn't like 2 days ago. But that is Rockstar Energy Open. There is a skateboarding competition that Rockstar Energy puts on. And
trying to be like Red
so
Bull.
much, bro, I ordered so much fucking Rockstar. They sent me this beanie. They were like, wait, let's get a dossier on this guy. He likes skateboarding? Send him a beanie. So I just got this beanie for free from Rockstar.
Cool.
This episode is brought to you by not Rockstar.
I was going to say.
Brought to you by anybody but Rockstar.
We might reach out to them because we drink a lot of it together.
Yeah, those rock stars are usually quite prominent.
We have consumed gallons of Rockstar on this podcast.
They have the free sponsorship already. Just send me more beanies. I'm in.
It's been 2 weeks. I was sick as fuck last week.
Damn.
Fucking, it's going through my work right now.
It is.
Yeah, a bunch of people are sick.
Yeah, well, I was sick. I was sick at work. I had to go to work because I had to give that presentation that I was telling you guys about.
How did it go?
Well, it went well, but it was just, it really felt like me and a guy nervously put together a meeting. Like once we really got into the swing of it. You know, everything we kind of wanted to do and touch on, we did. And, it was fine. I did this weird opening game with the new people who work there now because we just did a big hire. And so there's like 4 or 5 new people. So I did this thing where we wrote down like four questions on the slide. And then I gave them a D4 to roll and then answer one of the questions on the thing. It was kind of fun, you know. And then we went through this kind of slideshow. And I think that what everyone was expecting was for me to kind of just be funny or do comedy when I just kind of gave a presentation for my job. And, you know.
Hey, guys, anybody got roaches? We need to fire 4 of you.
The rest of you were working 5/10s.
Well, you will have roaches after we fire 4. Yeah, so like afterwards, my boss was like, he said this at the meeting. He said he was a comedian. I thought he'd be funnier. Just he says that to everybody. And I was like, I'm giving a presentation at work. I don't know what you're talking about. This is what I do.
You want to pay me for performance rates, dog?
And then he said something like, well, we thought you'd be funny. And I was like, yeah, well, you're going to have to invoice me next time for that. And he's like, now he's funny. Yeah, you son of a bitch. Yeah. We were in charge of the company lunch because they do a lunch that day too for the meeting.
So you got to pick the food, or?
I got to pick the food.
Bro, was it watermelon? Because it'd be hilarious. just make them say it. It'd be hilarious, bro.
No watermelon were harmed in the ordering of this lunch. No, it wasn't watermelon, but I thought you were going to guess because it was Cracker Barrel. I did get the entire company. I did order the entire company Cracker Barrel.
That's so funny. You're like, give me that company card.
Give me the company card. I will spend $800 on Cracker Barrel right now. Please. It was a smash hit. They loved Cracker Barrel.
Excellent.
That was the biggest draw of this whole thing is Cracker Barrel. And then I proceeded to get sick that day. Like I was actually kind of sick going into it.
God, hopefully they all got sick. Hopefully you got all of them.
No, I didn't.
Damn it.
But yeah, I went into work the next day and had to leave early. It was a Thursday, and then I didn't go in Friday. We're working 5/10s, but I couldn't. I was fucking sick as shit. And I was sick for a while. I was sick for a long time.
Did Ramon get sick?
Ramon had been sick.
Oh, so
That's
he
where I
probably
got
gave
it
it to
from.
you. He's the
Yeah.
vector of
Yep.
fucking spread.
Yeah.
Very common.
And he was like,
children.
his nose was running, and he was congested a little bit. But other than that, he didn't feel sick. He was just green, runny nose.
He was just a carrier.
Yeah, exactly. And then it fucking got me.
Well, I have a segue to something that made me sick.
Okay.
And it's a sick ass game.
Oh,
Bro, last week, so there was no podcast, right?
what did you fucking
I
download?
fucking downloaded. You know what I downloaded? I got then downloaded Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Oh, you did.
I've been playing the shit out of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
I was contemplating getting it,
Bro, so here's the easiest way I can tell you to get it or not get it. Like the easiest decision, you need to make is, did you like Tenkaichi 3?
favorite game of all time.
You'll love it then. Now, to go into depth a little bit more, bro, I was really, honestly, like, this shit is fire. It's fire. It's so sick. It's not balanced. You're Goku. The fuck? And that's so sick.
You mean like Goku is strongest? Is the strongest character?
He's not necessarily the best, but yeah, he's basically the strongest. Especially when you first boot up the game and you're in those like early arcs. He's so strong. But the thing is, like, this game, I will say, dude, I've played every Dragon Ball game that's come out in my fucking lifetime, basically. This game, dude, did a great job of like really fucking making you feel the fucking energy, man. Like you like immerses you in a good way. And the way they fucking did it that I thought was interesting is like there is no story mode. They, I think, fully realized no one gives a
Everyone
fuck. Knows the story.
Everybody knows the story.
Yeah. So
we don't want to make a new story.
So I feel bad that I liked it because it almost feels like they phoned it in a little bit. But there's no like story. There's like manga panels. There's like visual novel style panels of like Kakarot, and then fucking the story moves on. But the way they did it that was interesting is you don't. So the what ifs are cool, whatever. But you don't play as the story chronologically goes necessarily. You play as a character's chronological experience of that story. So when you're playing like Future Trunks, you start in the future and then go back to the past and then go back to the future. And like you're following a character through their episodes. So it's kind of, if you've never watched Dragon Ball, I'm imagining it would be very confusing.
Right.
Because you're like, wait, what happened to the guy who was just fighting? Why is Perfect Cell here now? And that kind of is like the weakest part, is that you jump straight between like Frieza almost straight to Perfect Cell, because like Goku was dead the whole time. So you just do nothing. It's such a fucking escalation of story. But that's not what made me sick. Tell me why. I load up Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I'm so excited.
I almost got this fucking game.
Bro, I load up Goku's story because I'm a story guy. I'm not going to play online. I make it through Raditz. I get to Grade 8 Vegeta, and tell me why Grade 8 Vegeta beat my ass, bro. Beat the shit out of me. He fucking mopped the floor with my fucking corpse, bro. time and time again. I spent an hour and a half
Fighting Grade 8 Vegeta.
Fighting Grade 8 Vegeta. And finally, at the end of fucking losing, I still hadn't beaten him. I go on, I'm like, dude, I can't be the only one. I go on Google and Bandai Namco is like, yeah, the monkey got hands, bro. I was like, damn.
That monkey got hands.
Bro, and it's just memes of like fucking Consort Radon from Elden Ring handing a sword to Grade 8 Vegeta as the hardest boss. Bro, everyone got fucked up by Grade 8 Vegeta, which if you don't know Dragon Ball, that's like 3 fights in.
That's like the third
episode, bro. Like, what the fuck? I got fucked up, bro.
Damn. And you were like, how am I going to fight Beerus?
No, so it actually, by the time you get to that point, you've gotten good.
Okay.
So it's fine. But that Grade 8 Vegeta right in the beginning, the real reason is because the tutorial doesn't teach you how to play the game, which I think is an interesting choice. But I get it. It's kind of like again, like they cut a corner, but it's like a corner everyone else already, like we all know how fighting games work for the most part. And we all know if we're getting our ass beat, it's time to go into training mode and practice. So they know you're going to do that. And I think what they did is they just literally physically taught you technically how to move around. And that's kind of it. They're like, hit this button to attack. Good luck. And there's actually like deeper mechanics here that you actually need to know in order to like beat the harder episodes. And Grade 8 Vegeta's hard because he's giant. So he's like 10 times your fucking size. So he's like unflinchable, I think. If you're Goku at that power level at that time, I don't think you can flinch him. Half of his attacks are unblockable. His combos will be like 50 hits long, followed by a super, and they start immediately. So if you don't know how to like do anything, it genuinely feels like you got stun locked for 3 minutes and just lost. Like it feels like you had no recourse. But man, Grade 8 Vegeta beat my ass for an hour. I got so mad, bro. I was like, he's cheating. Then I lowered the difficulty. He was still cheating. Can you believe that shit? But
I was going to ask about the difficulty you plan on.
Bro, so they did a really interesting thing with lowering the difficulty where there's two difficulties. There's normal and lower than normal. So like mentally, you don't want to go to that. One says normal, so you don't want to go down.
Normal and very easy.
Yeah, like God of War did that thing where they called it like narrative experience. Nah, fuck all that.
I want to go to narrative. Can I go to explore
That's
mode?
The difficulty level is use a bitch. So I fucking go down. I step down. Motherfucker still starts the battle with an unblockable super. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I'm still getting fucking mopped. But the only way to unlock the what ifs that they added in is through playing on normal difficulty. If you're on easy,
you can't unlock.
You can't even do the challenges that create those situations. So one of those, the thing I like is that they're actually not all like dialogue based or like a real choice you make. You have to kind of have a familiarity with the story on some of them. Like if you beat, I think one of them, I didn't actually do it because I don't care about Goku's storyline, but I think one of them is like if you beat Boo with a spirit bomb as the final move or something like that, then it like unlocks the like alternate ending of some sort. And there's like, it's like, oh, because he did that in the anime.
Right,
and so it gives you a different, then you get the choice of like, do you want to go do this or go do that, you know?
Right.
And like a lot of those choices are hidden behind things like that. So like the only choice that I really was interested in taking is right in the beginning where it's like, you're Goku and it's like, do you want to ask Piccolo to help you defeat Raditz or do you just want to go fucking throw hands? Like you could just 1v1 Raditz right now. And that is a cool what if.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you like save Gohan yourself. You don't get killed by Piccolo and you have to die like later in the story for it to like line back up. But it's just cool that they gave you some like alternate timelines because we all know the main storyline by now. But man, I got my ass beat, bro. I fucking shit, bro.
Fuck, man. I've been looking at this game, man, and I
really
was
fun.
a big fan of I had Budokai 3. I didn't have Tenkaichi.
Yeah. So okay, that's a good for people who don't know, and it also makes sense in the way the game plays out. There was Budokai, and then there was Budokai Tenkaichi, and then in Japan, the original Budokai I think was just called Sparking, and so by naming this Sparking Zero, they were trying to tell people like we're going back to like the original shit, the good shit. And I feel like they did it.
They did.
I feel like it
looks great. The cutscenes look great. I love the fact that if you're Krillin and you fight Goku, you are at a disadvantage.
Bro, the only Yajirobe is fucking OP.
Oh yeah,
Motherfucker has senzu beans. God damn it. People are spamming senzu beans in just the right amount so that you can't, like, he is like immortal. So we'll probably patch that, but I don't think they should. I think this is what makes it a Dragon Ball Z game.
Yeah.
Also, bro, the highest praise I can give this thing is that like I'm not super fighting games guy. I just don't care about online competition, so I play through the stories. That inherently means you're not super fighting games guy because like the stories are never the point of those games. But this game, out of every game I've ever played, I've never felt a game that felt like this. It actually feels like the most like three-dimensional fighting game because it's like an arena fighter, but the movement and the ability to dash very quickly and how quickly you can like transition after you get fucked up to like back in the battle. So there's like ways where if you're aimed at the ground and you hit the right button, your character will do the fucking Dragon Ball Z thing where he like bounces off the ground. Like he sees it coming, catches himself and kicks off it and goes back. And like there's little like not counters, but like movement counters, like ways that your movement feels super fucking Dragon Ball Z. It feels super like flying, and it does not feel like they took you're standing here punching fighting game and just like let you fly. It feels like they started with like, you need to be able to fly. And then they also made it so you can technically go underwater and stand on ground. But like that, it feels like a flying first game, and that makes everything so much more fun. Because it doesn't feel like a 2D game that they've like put in an arena.
Did you play Kakarot?
Yeah, I really like that actually.
What is it? Does it feel like that when you're fighting?
Way better. So I can't even explain how much better. Because Kakarot felt good. It did feel good, but like they got it down. And like I think it's mostly the fact that everything you do feels very quick. Because like that's the thing when you're watching the anime is it feels like they're just like pa, 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 pa. And like sometimes they'll even just like illustrate it by doing that, by just throwing blurs in between characters. And it feels like you're doing that. It feels like you're like, it doesn't feel like
you push a button and he just does it.
It feels like, it feels so good. And my mains obviously going to be Ultimate Gohan and Future Trunks because fucking they're coolest characters in the goddamn series. And they are really fast and don't have very high attack. So they're not as strong as other characters, but like for my playstyle, fuck, bro. Fuck, bro. I'm entering the world tournament. I'm walking away. Teams of 5 people, I'm fucking mopping the floor with them. 2 of me. Team battles are really cool. Transformations are really cool. They're done really well. They got rid of one of the most annoying things that I can't actually remember which game did it, but one of the games you can only transform Super Saiyan while you have like ki, and then it goes back. And I can't remember if that's a memory I made up because I was like so young
too.
Like, I just remember feeling like, what the fuck? Like by the end of the series, Goku's just Super Saiyan all the time. Why am I fighting fucking Beerus or fighting fucking Boo and like struggling to stay Super Saiyan? This doesn't feel good. In this game, you can just be Super Saiyan. You can actually just pick the Super Saiyan version. There's some downsides to doing that instead of starting with the like base.
This is the main thing I've heard about the game. Powering up is better than starting out like
it feels
with
so
that
good.
character.
And it feels good. It's like they lined up with what feels good to do and makes you feel like, wow, I'm playing Dragon Ball Z with what is like kind of the optimal strategy in a really good way to where all the competitive people are like avid Dragon Ball Z fans. And I like that. And also the competitive scene is like fun, it seems. And Yajirobe is like some people's main and they're pulling it off. And that makes me happy because when they announced like, oh, we're going back to the basics, we're trying to make like a really serious fighting game, was kind of the vibe. And I was like, not, I don't want it to be serious fighting game. I want to have fun. And then we got both. Fucking sick, bro. Fucking sick.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, no, it's super fun. It gets a lot easier as you play because you get better.
There's a learning curve.
Yeah, I think like that kind of like is good because if you play through the episode's storyline thing, then right about the time where you get good enough to kind of hold your own, the storyline starts to get boring because the fights are easier. So then it almost got me to transition to playing online. And like I don't like doing that. Mm-hmm. And that's good. I feel like that's where they really like nailed it. And I don't want to give them credit for like not making a storyline, but like, hey, it worked. And I can honestly say, even after playing Kakarot, this game is the most like immersed in the characters that I've ever been, because you actually, when you're fighting, you actually feel like these are native things to you. Like moving this fast and flying this way it's like a thing you do. You're just that good. And that's a good feeling. That's how you want to feel.
Have you fought with Hercule yet?
Yes. He's annoying.
Does he feel like, oh, this guy is a human?
One of his supers is that Majin Buu comes in. It's really fun. They did it well. I don't like. There's a whole like meta developing of people using the shittiest characters and that's funny. But like I'm not about that. So like I've been mostly playing with. I did try one of the new characters, and I can't remember his name. I've been playing it.
Granola or somebody?
No, he's green. He's like a god of destruction. Not a god of destruction. I think he's just a god. Can't remember, but he like Zamasu.
Oh, okay.
So I've been playing with Zamasu. I really like the way his character feels, but he's one of the strongest characters in the game. So it's kind of like, it feels like I'm too OP sometimes, unless I'm fighting like Super Saiyan Blue Goku or Vegeta or something. Then it feels like I'm just fucking up Hercules as a god. Like what the fuck? So I stopped. Kick. Bro, he's like, now will be the time of destruction. And then Hercules is like, dynamite kick. Ow. And it literally feels like that. Okay. It really feels like that. When you get fucked up or when you're doing the fucking up, they did not hold back the vibes. The vibes are on point. But it's still possible, like, if you're good, or if you just like are a fucking edgelord enough to use those like weaker characters and like stun lock the opponent or like just be good. It's still possible to play with them, but like yeah, it's fun. It's good, man. I was really enjoying it. I was having fun.
I can't wait to play that fucking game.
It was really fun, dude.
Yeah, I mean, we can go into games because I play a shitty one every week. But so this one isn't that shitty. It was actually really, really good and fun, and I don't know how common or popular this game was. Cult of the Lamb.
I play Cult of the Lamb.
You play it?
I played it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have it slotted to boot back up. It might be installed on my Steam Deck right now because there was an update since I finished it.
Have you heard of this game?
Yeah.
Okay. And
it's so Sheep told me about it. It's also just like a very popular game in the YouTube sphere.
Okay.
It's got a lot of reviews.
I love this game. It is adorable.
I thought this was TJ's Shitty Games Corner. What are we doing?
No, I want to hear about your experience with Cult of the Lamb.
Listen, I've been playing the shit out of this game. It's really fucking fun. I had to fucking get a bathroom because they were shitting all over the place.
They just shit all over the place.
You're really selling it.
That's the first thing I noticed is all the shit.
Yep.
It's a game where I'll explain it to people who don't know. It's a game where you, a lamb, get killed. And now the devil has made you a lieutenant for him because he's imprisoned and his 4 devil brothers put him there, and he wants you to get vengeance on his 4 other devil brothers, who all have cults of their own that you have to fight and collect their bones for rituals.
Yep. It's a game in 2 separate parts. You have the action element where you're moving through these dungeons and like killing enemies and trying to get to the cult gods and kill them. And then after that, assuming you make it all the way through, after that, you have to go home. You have to go to your own little compound and deal with your adherents and utilize them.
They get hungry. They could starve to death. They could get sick and die. They can lose faith in you and defect.
How did you find this game? Was it like on the
PlayStation Plus, baby?
Sick.
It's out. So I downloaded that thing. And I've been playing this game pretty much nonstop. I brought my son in.
Okay.
Hold on. I brought him in later.
I appreciate that.
So he didn't see the setup, But he might have wondered why we're going through a pentagram on the ground to travel.
Have you done very many like rituals and communions with like your followers and stuff?
I did sacrifice a man.
Allegedly.
Yeah, to just wait until Ramon is like, I like that one. I like the little dog guy. Let us bring him to his eternal reward as tentacles descend from the sky.
Hey, Ramon, can you wrap that dead body up and put him in the crypt? I gotta cook grass for my. Gotta cook grass soup. I got some sort of like a relic or something to where my whole entire group is fine with the grass. Like there's no negative effects that come from it at all. So like I could just feed them grass without any worry. So when times get tough, we know what to do, I've had some defectors. I've had to build the first prison. Put somebody in jail. I was like, Ramon, we got to put this person in jail. They're fucking
he doesn't
talking
believe
shit.
in us.
He's talking shit.
Ramon, we cannot have dissenters amongst our community.
It's so fucking fun because they make it so that you're a little bit worried when you leave.
I was actually just about to say that. One of the most interesting things I felt about playing this game is that, like, in a way, the two halves of it, the action game and the base building game, are very disparate from each other.
They're so
right?
different. Yeah,
they're so different. They're almost separate, except obviously, like, you're collecting resources out there that you have to bring in, and like you can do things in here that give you more powers out there. But like the main branch, I felt the main tributary that passed through both games and connected them is that for me, when I was out in like adventuring, when I was out in the dungeons, I was absolutely like crippled with anxiety that I was not in my base. I was not feeding my dudes. There were dissenters. They were fomenting dissent, and I couldn't.
And fermenting shit everywhere.
Everywhere. God damn it. They're getting sick. They're dying.
Oh my God. The old age aspect of it is so funny to me because it's like, okay, these people are old. I'm sad because these are some of my earliest members. Like I didn't gave him a necklace. Now it's useless because he's old and he can't do anything. So like I filled up a crypt and then I have like 4 graves and 2 of them have people in them now. So I'm like, I'm gonna need another crypt.
Man, I
die.
I did not go the crypt route. If I remember correctly, I went the route where you throw them into the fertilizing bin.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, the upgrade is something like waste not, want not, or something, and it's when somebody dies, they get carted over to the fertilizer bin, and you grow crops with them.
fuck? I should do that. The reason why I went very like I'm not eating anyone. I'm not like I don't want to use their meat and all this shit. Yeah. I'm just gonna put them in a grave. You know, we're nice here. We love.
It's a nice cult.
Yeah. There are some times where I'll be like, this guy has like the highest, devotion to me. So I'm going to make him eat. I'm going to make him eat somebody in a ritualistic sense so I can get into level 5 type shit. So, but other than that, I'm not like, all right, we're just using the meat and bones for sustenance because but it's a fucking great game. I am fucking crippled with anxiety every time I leave. I fucking go play that dice game up there.
Yeah.
I get stuck. I play for an hour and I'm like, oh my God. Our cult leader has a gambling problem. He hadn't fed us in days. God damn. But hey man.
Yeah.
Cult of the Lamb. Get it. PlayStation Plus.
I've been playing I started replaying Rain World because one of the updates added co-op, so I've actually been playing it with Violet.
It's an interesting update to Rain World.
Yeah. And not unwelcome. It honestly, like, it's the kind of thing where you would imagine, like, having another person there would just, like, make things so much easier because now there are 2 of you to just throw spears at lizards and shit. But
Do they scale it for 2 players?
I don't know if they do scale it. The issue is that the nature of Rain World is just so unbelievably hostile, it doesn't matter. Yeah, gravity will kill you. Doesn't matter how many of you there are. You'll still drown in the drainage systems. Then there's
And now there's a witness.
What is Rain World?
Rain World is a platformer, I guess I would describe it. About
2D?
Yes, 2D. Not side scrolling. It could be side scrolling, but it's the kind where like each like screen that you move through is like separated from others by either like a quick cut to like, you go to the right on one screen and you pop out on the left side of a new screen type shit. Who's kind of like it's a bit of a cult, like cult classic, probably cult classic type game. In that it was not like reviewed very well when it came out, I guess, but has since established itself as with a pretty strong following, based almost entirely on its punishing difficulty. It is so fucking hard. This game is so goddamn hard, and it is hard for some reasons that you like understand, even if like it makes you not want to play it, you understand, and some reasons that are just completely arbitrary and absolutely enraging. And a huge part of that is just how it creates its ecosystem and world. It like on its very surface, it is a game that kind of communicates to you that like this world here actually doesn't care about you. Right. Like it is filled with creatures that also need to eat, creatures that have opinions about you that could be good or could be bad. And the nature of the screen to screen like transitions and kind of like how at least at first, how restrictive it feels to move around as this slug cat.
That changes everything in my mind. I was imagining a guy.
Yeah, you are not a guy. You are a little creature, like a cat, like very small, who is absolutely not at the top of the food chain, not even close. And the other creatures that are on the top of the food chain are hungry. And on top of like the normal powers that each of them has like most common enemy type is a lizard. And the first time you run into them, they can only like kind of crawl around on the ground and chase you, and they're not very fast. But as you keep going, they get faster. They get like tongues that can reach out and grab you. They can climb posts. They can climb the fucking background. They can camouflage themselves. They can swim. Some of them get a fucking short range teleport. It gets bad.
Oh my God.
Oh, it gets so goddamn bad. And the worst part is that their position in any given level is not predetermined. They can be anywhere on that level, including right at the divisor between two screens.
Oh.
So it doesn't happen often, but like just this last time I was playing with Violet, and I'm all like, we're in this area, and there's a lot of drop downs, right? There's a lot of gravity hazards, a lot of bottomless pits. So I'm all like, you just stay right behind me, do what I do. You just jump right across, right? We'll go from pole to pole. It'll be good. I'm gonna put a ladder right there. We'll be able to get up. You know what I mean? I'll put a spear in the wall. We'll be able to climb up. Don't worry, you just stay behind me. I'll take care of us. And then I go down like a little tunnel, and I come out of the tunnel, and there's a lizard who right there who just grabs me. And like I'm playing. So the lizard grabs me, and I go, ah! And he just takes me and goes away. And suddenly she's alone. She is completely alone. She can't catch the lizard because it's a bottomless pit, and the lizard can crawl in the background, and she can't. So she can't So if you get grabbed and you don't die immediately, then like the other player could like throw a rock, and if it hits the lizard, he'll drop you, and you can get away. But this bitch just and fucking took off. So she had to make it all the way through by herself, and
She did.
It was very, very good, and like it was a really good experience just because it was so tense. Like, this game is essentially like, God, it's not like this at all, but in a way, you can think about it as like, what if Mario, but like every time you died, the game got harder, right? And you still wanted to play, but the game gets harder every fucking time you die. So, and you go for a long time over like really, really dangerous regions without dying, and you start to get absolutely fucking like dripping sweat with anxiety. If you die now, you've got like maybe 2 or 3 like bends in the road to get to the next safe house, to get to the next little like den that you can sleep through the rain in. If you die now, you have to go all the fucking way back. You have to get past those floating blue tentacle monsters who will just, you can't kill them, and they will just like stick their little tentacles into each of like the tunnels that you can hide in, and then grab you and just pull you out and just eat you. And it's like we would get through a region, and she'd be like, God, my fucking feet are sweating. I'm so anxious about this.
Fuck, man.
Yeah. It is not for everybody, but I've been really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other game I've been playing is called Super Lesbian Animal RPG. Super Lesbian Animal RPG.
Are they super lesbians or super animals, or is it a super lesbian animal RPG?
Yeah,
what is the super reference?
Is there just a regular lesbian animal RPG that this is the this is a sequel to?
There's an animal RPG. This is the super lesbian.
Yeah,
animal
super.
RPG.
This is Super Animal RPG Lesbian Edition. No, nope. It is straight up just called Super Lesbian Animal RPG. This is another game in line with the handful of games that I've been playing that are like LGBTQ plus designed and focused. I'm not too far in it. It is a very very traditional sort of like JRPG style, like top down fights happen and like menu driven combat type shit. And the only like I don't have like a fully formed opinion. I'm generally positive on it. Because first and foremost, I have not been I have not lost my desire that the game will show some narrative and dramatic teeth eventually. Like, I feel like there is some potential for resentment to foment, and there to actually be like, like character clashes as opposed to everybody being like super supportive and like nice all the time. Some of the dialogue is pretty good, even if it usually suffers from like a sort of like cool guy syndrome where everybody's a cool guy. You know what I mean? There are a couple of memes that it drops in which like don't hit, and then some that do hit.
Memes from like the current era, or
not from the current era, definitely from when it came out.
It's like Hotline Bling.
Not that old. Like one of the ones that I thoroughly enjoy is one of the characters can cast Blink. They can cast Blink and just disappear for a round. And when they do that, a little like character portrait shows up of the character just doing this and then just like disappearing, like that one meme.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm
where
head out.
between Hotline Bling and Skibbity Toilet, where are we?
Honestly, like genuinely, in time, you're probably right in the middle. Like chronologically speaking, you're probably right in the middle between those.
This was a DBZ episode.
I don't honestly have a lot to say about it, except that in the menu, at the very bottom, there are these 3 toggles, which initially I did not realize were jokes, mostly because I didn't see the top one. But the there's an on off, and then there are 2 bars. And the 2 bars, so kind of like contrast or brightness type.
Oh, like sliders?
Yeah, sliders. Yes, thank you. The 2 sliders are, the first one is politics. So you can move the slider to change how much politics is in the game. You see?
Max.
And then the other one is ludonarrative dissonance, which is the slider that you can move to determine how much in line the narrative and the mechanics line up, right? Okay. And I looked at those and I was like, well, I guess I have to tailor this to my desire, so I'm gonna move the slider all the way up to max. But, maybe I don't want them to be, I want a little bit of dissonance because I want the game to be like, kind of like fun and pacey and stuff. But then the one on top, the yes, no option is just says art, and like the info bar reads toggles whether or not this game is considered art. Turn that on or off.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, I thought that was very good. That's a lot of the reason why I have a degree of trust that the designers and authors of this game will present something that is dramatically appealing.
Right.
Yeah. Super lesbian animal RPG.
Catch it. Get it. Super lesbian animal RPG.
I still don't know if they're super animals, super lesbians, if it's a super RPG.
Yeah,
I still do not know.
They're definitely super lesbians. There are only women, and they're all
lesbians with superpowers.
And they have animals?
What makes
they are animals.
They are lesbian
They are
animals,
all animals
with superpowers. Mm-hmm. Is their superpower that they're animals?
Well, one of them can cast Blink.
Yeah. The superpower, I guess, is that like at some point magic was just discovered.
Okay.
So
magic lesbian animal RPG.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be super lesbian animal RPG in the same vein as like super Paper Mario RPG or some shit.
Are they?
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Are they anthropomorphic?
I didn't
Yes. They are not. They are not just
Is
straight up
this
animals.
furry?
It is furry as hell.
Okay, well, I don't yep.
There are.
That's
like,
why the art toggle.
It's all like pixelated and stuff, and like all pastel colors and shit, and very like tame. I think in that aspect. So I don't expect that I'm gonna see like anthropomorphic fox titties on my screen at any point.
Huh.
There's a slider.
I just have to find that. I just have to
You
find
can
that
slide
option.
the titties in or out.
Yeah.
Why does the fox got one titty? Well, your slider is set to half.
That's not where I thought.
Yeah, don't go all the way over though, because
They're on
that's 6 titties. Yes.
Which is the amount of titties a fox has.
Bro, okay. Literally at the same time that you were playing that, probably, I was I figured out the name of the book. I mentioned it to you, but I went fucking camping while you were sick. okay, in real life, I went camping on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and I was coming back for the podcast, and then you got sick. But same weekend, I was camping with a woman who has read all of A Court of Thorns and Roses. And I felt like, in the same way that I imagine you leading Violet across a harrowing experience, where you get to be like a man, you get to lead your woman.
Only to get snapped.
Then you get fucked up. See, I had a similar experience
Where you got eaten by a lizard.
I got to be a man. And I got to make fire. And the two women that I was with sat around my fire. And then I got to sit there for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. Well, this woman summarized a 7-book long series of smut novels that is a fantasy in a fantasy setting, and there's magic powers and elves and fae, and I had a lot of fun. It was very fun. I really enjoyed it, but I was camping, you see. And so that made it feel better.
Okay.
Because it really did feel like, for a moment, I was like a caveman.
Yeah, she was telling ghost stories around the fire.
But except all the ghosts were like really hot fae dudes who and all of them want to bone the main character.
I cast enlarge on my penis.
Yeah, it was, and that was really fun. And then the next day, after staying up all night listening to this dramatic, epic retelling of all the politics of a fantasy world I will never experience firsthand. I will never read these books. They're very popular apparently, but okay. After listening to all of that, the next day we went fucking climbing, and I hung around while they climbed, and I got to go rappel. About 100 feet was my first rappel. It was really fun. And then we came home, and I had a very simple, pleasing outdoor experience with nothing going wrong.
Oh,
I went rappelling. I listened to a campfire story of romance and intrigue. I felt like a real human.
You see a goat or nothing? Nothing happened.
No,
You didn't roll your ankle
no,
at any point?
no. Everything was totally fine. Everything went 100%.
Misguided white man? Anything?
We did find a guy's passport.
Okay.
Wow.
Actually, now that I've come to think of it, Swiss man lost his passport.
Oh.
And then we found him on Facebook and said, "Here's your passport." So we left it at this bike shop.
It went well? Oh.
Yeah, all went well. It actually went great.
Good.
You wasn't lost in the
He's
flood?
actually a famous athlete, so it was very easy to find him.
Wow. Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
He actually gave us $3 million each for finding his passport.
And a free Harley.
And a Swiss Army knife.
it was pretty chill.
He's Swiss.
Pretty chill. And in energy being high, masculinity being at the forefront of my consciousness, it was at that moment that I signed up for the class I took yesterday, which was manual lathing.
Oh, yeah.
Boy is now certified on a manual lathe.
Oh, certified.
I can lathe anything you need.
Holy shit. Well, look at
That
that.
aluminum, I cut it.
Let me cut that. Let me open that for you.
Bro, I could go.
Put it on a lathe.
Let me get it all centered in the check. Yeah, where's the square?
My indicator rolling around.
Yeah. We're about a half thou out. So fucking yeah, that was really interesting because it's not as the thing about lathing that I've learned. It can be summed up with one very simple question I had after sitting through this whole class and realizing, oh, they never answered this one very simple question, which is, how do I know what tool is right for the material, for the job I'm doing? You know, if I'm doing aluminum, brass, stainless steel, titanium, How do I know what like bit to put on the lathe? And when I looked up what bit is the right bit for aluminum or whatever, they said whatever bit works, bro. I don't. And that realizing that like, oh yeah, as long as it's physically harder than the thing it's cutting, it's gonna put that shape in whatever the fuck is spinning.
Right.
And there's very little, like there's a lot less complication with regards to like tooling or like things like that
when it comes to aluminum.
When it comes to like anything, because the only thing the thing I learned is like when you get into titanium and stainless, right? The tool doesn't change. You're still using hardened high-speed steel or carbide. The only thing that changes is now you might accidentally work harden your piece and work soften your bit and accidentally end up with a thing where now your bit is not harder than the material you're trying to cut. And so that's what always fucking drove me nuts is like I was like machining fucking aluminum or whatever. Why can't you just go slower? And you can with aluminum, but with stainless or with titanium, when you go slower, I'm sure you already know this, but for our audience, when you go slower, you're rubbing more than cutting. Mm-hmm. And if you go too slow, too much heat will get into the part. It will heat up and harden, and your bit will soften, and you will end up where the part's now cutting your bit.
Damn.
And like not literally, but like you will no longer be able to make clean cuts.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, so this is why you have to go faster. Because I was always like, just go slow. Like, be patient, go slow. Why wouldn't that work? And now I get it. Mm-hmm. And that was a really freeing. It was so much simpler than I thought it would be that I'm like, damn, man, I want to go turn some aluminum right now.
As simple as it is, there is also formulas for this.
Yeah, there's speeds and feeds and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But basically, my motto is, I'm just going to put the shit, I'm going to put the bit into the thing and watch what it does. Because as long as I don't actively, as long as I don't like fuck shit up.
Yeah.
You'll see the evidence, right?
Yeah. And
so I'm excited.
That's a good way to do it if you don't mind going through a couple bits until you figure out what's going on.
I didn't buy these bits.
But
these are motherfucking shop equipment.
But but typically the way that we do it at my job is if it's aluminum, we use high-speed steel. If it's steel, we use carbide.
A manual lathe or CNC lathe or what?
CNC lathes mainly. We do have a manual lathe that I have turned things on real quick. Like I need to go turn something.
I forgot I took a picture of it.
So
I can actually show you the lathes. We have 2 lathes.
Is it a newer CNC? I'm curious.
We have one that is quote unquote the machine that won the war.
Oh, fuck.
You know exactly what machine. And we have another that's like an 80s. This is the newer one. It's built in the 80s. Apparently also very high end. Like both of these are like very high end $250,000 machines that were donated basically. And now also they're not worth that now. They're worth a lot, but not that much.
It's very clean.
Yeah, because no one knows how to use it. Everyone's scared of it. And I literally, I get it. It's fucking scary. And that's what the biggest freedom was in actually learning how to use it, is that it's actually like so simple. Like it sounds crazy, but you could literally put that fucking M&M container in the lathe if you felt so inclined and cut it with anything harder than that M&M container. And that realizing that it's not as scientific as like the CNC mill, for instance, where like if something goes wrong, it goes wrong so fast that you're just like, fuck, I might lose an eye. Bit broke off, fling into the wall. You know, like everything that I've seen with aluminum, brass, and mild steel goes wrong slowly, and you have plenty of evidence of why it went wrong.
Absolutely. So, that's the thing.
That was
like,
really freeing.
You can be a detective and just figure out why machines crashed.
Bro, that was sick.
And it's so funny because most of the time it's the guy who is running the machine.
Oh yeah, you turned your power feed on and never turned it off. Wow,
the guy always blames the machine. It fucking, I don't know, dude. Fucking went that way. It was like, bro, you put the offset. You put 5 inches instead of 5,000.
Bro, and we have digital readout too, which is like super bougie.
Yeah, it is
for like old manual lathe like that. So it's nice, bro.
For sure. Like if you put your shit up to the part and click 0, nigga, that's 0. And
Yeah,
then
and it's nice, bro. Also, backlash, not as big of a deal as I kind of thought. I knew it was a thing because like the reason I heard about backlash is because I was like, man, maybe I can build my own like CNC mill at home. And like people do it all the time, but in order to do it, there are a lot of considerations that make it very expensive because you're trying to get rid of backlash. And like backlash being like, if a gear has this much space in between teeth, but the gear itself is only this big, it has to bounce. It has to lash back and forth.
We call that slack.
Yeah.
Slop.
So that I always thought was a bigger issue than it kind of is, but it is only an issue. It's on the manual lathe. It's only an issue in the direction you're moving. Like,
yeah.
Once you move it.
Once you move it up to the part. That's where
realizing
it is.
that also was like freeing because I was like, oh, so when I miss by fucking 0.0005 inches, literally, I have to fucking go back all the way back and
you're
start
still
over.
Good.
Yeah, and also
if
like
you're 5/10
bro,
off,
but
you're
also
fine.
all you have to do is just wind it all the way back and like get on the other side of it and approach it again.
Right.
But it's not the end of the world. It's not like, oh no, you missed it, you fucked it up. And that feels nice to know like, okay, so all the like precise parts that I'm need to be worried about, like being very precise and stuff, kind of happen while the work's just spinning over here, and I'm just like getting my okay, I want 20 thou depth of cut. Okay, so I'm over here, the work's spinning over here, and I'm just like, let me dial it in 20 thou. Oh, I missed it. Let me come back 20 thou, and then I just fucking auto feed and send her, and that feels good. That felt very nice, man. No, I never felt so goddamn masculine. Tell you what.
That's good. Once you learn the mill, you'll be like, oh, because honestly, a lathe is just
mill sideways.
Well, it's no.
Dang. I was like, maybe I'm already certified.
Because the difference is the tooling, right? Like you can't really put an end mill on there unless you're like shaving off the front, which is weird.
That's the other thing that was surprising about the lathe is like I knew this, I guess, but I never fucking internalized that because it's not like a fucking exact science. You just make the tool. You just take a square, a fucking block, a square, not this big, but like a square, and you just grind whatever the fuck shape you want into it, and you put it up against the thing, and it will cut that shape into whatever you're cutting.
Yeah.
So like when you want to groove, you make your own fucking tools. If your fucking aluminum chips are coming off too long and not breaking, you just make a chip break in your tool. You just put a little weird edge for it to like catch the chip and break the chip, and like realizing like, oh damn, so like you just take your high-speed steel over to that grinder and you make it whatever shape you want. And that freedom, that felt cool to like.
It's very much like if you don't have like a standardization like with a company or something like that, then it's very much like I'm gonna see what the fuck happens.
Yeah, they did like obviously when you're in production, like it's not that fun.
Yeah, no. No,
but
there's standardizations and shit. And also, if you're on production on a manual lathe, that sucks. Because
that would suck, yeah.
Because you're running 40 parts or whatever, and you got to put them back in and reset it up and get the tool back. Like, that's crazy.
So I learned single point threading, which is dumb. It seems fun. I'm going to do it for fun all the time. Also, he's like, yeah, you kind of need the nut. It's like the easiest, it's only realistic way to do it repeatably is to just have the nut you're trying to match the threads of and just try to screw it on. And like realizing that like, oh yeah, I guess I can just like keep trying to screw it on until it goes on. Wow. This is,
a go gauge.
Yeah, I'm not making 10,000 fucking parts. It doesn't need to be an exact science. I'm making like 2 fork sliders that no longer have a nub. Right now they have a nub. I need them not have a nub. Put them on, spin them, take the nub off. Very simple. Like realizing that was nice. Next, I do have to learn the manual lathe or manual mill. Sorry. Manual mill.
Manual mill is
next.
I think it's easier. I think it's easier to use the manual mill than the lathe.
Oh,
I think you'll be like, oh,
Is that just because like you're using better tooling, or like what makes it easier? Or
I think
simpler?
you understand 3D space better than you understand like spinning space.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's,
Yeah, because you're trying to think of everything in diameter and symmetrical and all that shit.
But this is just like I need to go 2 inches from the center of the tool. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
And like even now, when I go back to lathing, like I'm CNC lathing right now, I have, if you move it 1 thou, it's going to do 2. It just doubles because it's a circle. So you move in 1 thou, it's actually 2 thou because it's all the way around. So everything is considered in radius in the machine. So when you make an offset adjustment, you have to think about that. But in the X though, in the Z, that's when it goes 1 thou, it's 1 thou. So it's like, so there's a lot of like little stuff you have to consider when it comes to that. With the mill, if you want to go 1 thou down or over or whatever, it is what it is, you know? So once you learn which way plus and minus goes and things like that, like that's really all you need to know.
I was gonna make something to bring and just be like, oh, I made that.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any stock. I didn't have any spare stock, and I didn't want to use the classes because they have good material.
Yeah.
Like they have like stainless, and they have some fucking aerospace aluminum and titanium and weird shit. Mostly because if it's easy to mill or lathe, people have already used it. So only scraps left are the ones that people are afraid to turn into a part.
Yeah. Because, bro, aluminum is the easiest metal to work with. Like, there's a bunch of different hardnesses when it comes to aluminum, but
he was basically like, okay, if you like, based on what he saw me do, he was like, if you have a problem with aluminum, I'm gonna be surprised. Like you should mostly be focused on like steel and up. Aluminum and bronze, you're gonna be fine.
Copper too. You just cut it.
I'm excited for that because almost everything I'm gonna make is aluminum and bronze.
Right.
That's like 99% of what I want to do right now. Mm-hmm. And then titanium. But
you'll fuck up the part before you fuck up the tool.
Yeah, and that's like what I was mostly worried about because I can always buy more stock, but I can't replace their equipment at all. I can't even like fix it.
The most you'll do is cut too much and shit, and then be like, oh fuck, gotta start over.
And then like surface finish and stuff is like the part I'm really excited about, where it's like, oh, if you take like too thin of a surface finish pass, it'll make your surface finish worse sometimes. And like learning shit like that, I'm really excited about.
Yeah, so roughing and finishing.
But I was taking 50 thou passes like nothing on mild steel.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was fucking cranking that hog. I tell you what.
You sure were.
Yeah, boy.
You broke something.
No, I fuck carbide tooling. I ain't break nothing.
Okay.
She's hungry. Let her eat. Yeah. No, yeah. I did like facing passes and turning passes and learned all that, and single point threading, did all that. And then after learning single point threading, he was like, don't use this, just use a tap and die. Every time.
Have you seen knurling yet?
No, I'm really interested to learn it. And it seems interesting. It seems cool because it's like, if it seems like you just smush.
You smush.
Yeah.
It's so fun. You smush. But don't smush too hard. It's almost like smush and then, okay, it's not enough. Smush again.
Yeah.
Okay, smush a little
that
more.
Makes sense. Knurling is one of those things I really, really, really want to learn because everything cool has knurls.
Yeah.
Cool.
Everything. The first thing I learned in school when I was at Job Corps, we had to learn on the lathe first, and they made us make this tool or this part, and it just had a lot of different features on it. There was a thread on the back, there was a little relief cut for the thread, and then you had to turn it down to a certain size and then knurl it and then put a taper on the end of it. So it just taught us everything, you know, about the machine in this one part, which was really cool. But knurling it was fun. That was a fun thing to watch happen because I never knew how that happened.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm excited for grooving. When I get into like grooving and parting tools, which I'm saving. I want to get good first.
That's where you get your rings and whatnot. Start making rings.
I'm excited. I'm excited, man. So yeah, that was pretty much that. And then I fucking went to sleep, and then I woke up still thinking about the lathe.
Bro, I'm excited you're part of this guild. Fucking Makers Guild.
Okay, this part also, as soon as so the machine shop has a different code than the rest of the makerspace. Obviously, because these machines will kill you, the other ones will just like mildly maim you. So like, it was cool because it really does kind of feel like now this is the guild. Like the makerspace is like town. This is like where the real craftsmen are. And I fucking walk in and it's a dude with fucking mutton chops wearing a fucking black metal shirt that I can't read the font of, but I recognize the band. Corpse paint on the fucking guy's face. And I'm like, oh, nice shirt. You have mutton chops. I bet you drive that gigantic 1970s Chevy box truck outside. And he's like, I goddamn do. And I was like, I'm in the right place, bro.
Or you see a guy with mutton chops or a 60-year-old man, you know you're in the right place.
Yeah, that's how I knew, man. Tell you what. So that was pretty fun. But yeah.
You're going to have to buy a front pocket shirt. So you could put shit in
Yeah, put the caliper or whatever.
The metal ruler.
My fucking scribe.
You got to get a metal ruler.
I have one.
A 6-inch metal ruler.
I have I don't have a 6-inch. I have a
Yeah,
stainless
one that you
steel,
can stick in that pocket.
stainless steel 12-inch.
I have one that
edge.
reads 100,000ths.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's the last thing I'll say is it
Between
was
the
really
inches.
freeing to know that almost everything, the guy was like, bro, this ain't production.
He's been working in production for a long time. He got disdain for it.
I was like, damn, I'm 500 thou over. Let me start over. He's
Yeah.
like, nah,
That's
bro, you're chilling.
that's
bro.
half an inch.
You're chilling, bro. That is like a tenth of human hair. I don't care. Also, touching off is really fun because it's like spinning and you have a blade and you're trying to just without actually taking anything off to give you your zero.
You got to know where the part is.
Yeah. That part's really fun.
And then with that, you gotta, because you gotta find the center of the part sometimes on that X, and you gotta like measure half of it,
goes,
take it.
So someone asks, how do you find the center like consistently? He goes, I think the human eye is actually really good.
Who is this? I gotta meet this guy. He don't give a fuck about the conventions.
Calibrate my eyeballs.
This is the worst teacher ever.
Great.
You can't teach like this. You can't start people like this. You gotta get to the point to where you don't give a fuck like this. You can't teach.
I love it, bro.
Bro, there's so many like, fuck it, I'm gonna see if this shit work. Like, and if you do that enough, you become that guy. You're like fucking half an inch.
They say you shouldn't do this, but I do it all the time. Bro. Yeah, so that was really fun. I'm very glad I took that class on. Now I could go to use that lathe at 4:30 in the morning. I could do it anytime, 24/7. I could take a finger off, and there is no one who could stop me.
Man, I want to be a part of it. I kind of want to.
I gotta find a guild for me too. Like you got a guild. Fucking Violet's gonna join like a spinning guild, like Woolpack.
So we have at Makerspace. You just reminded me. I was going to tell you earlier. We have full on robotic embroidery machines, like custom embroidery machines, top of the line sewing equipment, leather working tools, like. Some that is actually more used than like the more like sophisticated machinery. But yeah, some people do like full on cosplay builds.
Damn.
Like in this one room, I went in there and they have like heat presses, fucking like literally equipment that I've never even seen before. It was like it's really advanced for a makerspace. And the more advanced the equipment is, this is like really my selling point. The more advanced the equipment is, the less people use it. So the nicest shit is the shit you want to use.
Yes.
Like if you're like really into
I want to go in. I'm going straight to the CNC mill.
Bro,
I want to use the CNC mill.
Saying, bro.
Because the thing about a CNC mill is like I don't know how to program, but I can write a couple lines. So I could tell that bitch to cut a circle a certain size.
You know,
I can do that.
Here's the other thing, and you'll get this. I tried to explain this last night. okay, I walk in to use I've been using the laser cutter a lot. I've been like learning how to use it and doing kind of more complicated, like, let's see if this works type stuff on the laser cutter. Thing about the laser cutter is if you just want to make super simple shit, it's really easy. 3D printer, if you just want to make simple shit, it's really easy. So everyone uses these machines. They're like they've been abused. But the fucking lathes were designed in 1941 to be operated by minimum wage workers who don't give a fuck. And this lathe weighs like 13,000 pounds literally. So you can't fucking break it. You can't. It's in good condition. Like
since the 40s, it's been in good condition.
It is so fucking hard to like mess up the machine that when you go to use it, you're like, wow, it's so clean. Because like 4 people have used it, and it was designed to be in like constant use for the next 20 years if need be.
Right.
So it's fucking sick. Like you walk in the machine shop and like the CNC. I think I took a picture of actually just the CNC lathe or CNC mill. I mean, for you, because I was like, oh, this is my manual mill.
Oh yeah, that baby right there.
Yeah, look at that bad boy. Look at, I'll take off some
Look at that.
Take off some swarfs of aluminum.
Damn, that vice is from the goddamn 1940s.
And so it's nice. I don't know.
Nice.
I can't speak to everything in the makerspace, but at least the machining stuff, bro. If the embroidery / sewing department is anything like the machining department, she might consider joining this one. Because it got everything you need.
Pretty good. Pretty good. What did you say, 75 a month?
If you do it month by month, it's $75 a month, 24/7 access.
Damn. That's pretty good.
Bro, you can make one thing and sell it for $75.
That's true. That's true.
What I'm circling back though, why did Violet join a guild? What is she?
Well, she's not a member in good standing yet because she hasn't paid her dues.
Ooh, I see. Well, that's prep.
But no, she volunteers at a garden and does a community garden as well. And at one of those 2 places, she met somebody who I think honestly they started talking because she was getting into motorcycling, and the person she was talking to was like, I used to ride a motorcycle in my day, I think. But like she got invited to go to a wool spinning meetup. And she doesn't have any wool, doesn't have a spinner, but
I think wool spinning sounds fun. Did she go?
She did.
Okay.
It's actually like 5 blocks away from here, it sounds like. So
they got their own sheeps.
Some of them I think do. I think actually some of them have goats. I think maybe they do goat wool.
I think so. I think there's like types of cashmere or something that are like goat wool. I don't know.
It's a lot of this is kind of beyond me, but like she was talking to them. They were all like, yeah, we just meet up and do this shit, and like most of us are part of a guild, part of a wool spinning guild. We spin wool.
Yeah.
You can rent a spinning
a loom.
A fucking loom.
No,
it's a spinnery.
Yeah, it's not a loom. It's literally the thing that spins fibers into thread.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And there's like a fiber of the month club that she could also join where they just send her fibers to spin.
God damn it, what fiber of the month did you bring? Carbon. Bro, I fuck with making your own wool. Something about that very appealing, because you got your goat at home.
You just shear it and then bring the wool in,
and then you come home wearing the jacket, and the goat looks at you with respect.
The goat can't tell that you're not one of them.
You smell like me.
But yeah, fucking. I don't know like what else that gives her access to. I think she told me more than just access to like a spinning wheel or whatever the fuck. But yeah,
man,
she's got a guild. You've got a guild.
So I'm bringing this up towards the end of the episode, but it's kind of a news topic. I just recently watched 2 different interviews, or listened to 2 different interviews. One of Donald Trump, one of Kamala Harris. Donald Trump was on the Flagrant 2 podcast with Andrew Schulz. And then Kamala Harris was on the 85 South show, but talking to Charlemagne the God.
Yeah. So I also watched both of these and had an opinion about the fact that I watched them both. So I'm curious to see what your take was just after watching. What's the first thing you thought?
The first thing I thought was the way Donald Trump's interview went was a better interview than the way that Kamala's interview went. Even though my personal stances, I like Kamala, but I feel like Kamala should have had an interview like Trump had. Kamala is always defending herself and her policies and all of this. She's always on the back foot about her policies. She's talking about it all the time. Trump got to talk about his kids. He got to talk about, his life growing up, what he,
funny.
Super personable, very like talking to him about, what do you really think about these policies? I mean, come on, not like so your dissenters have been saying this and this about you. What do you think about, what do you have to say to them? Right. It just feels very political and very like, I want Kamala to have an opportunity to show a more personable side, but right now all she is just super political, and I kind of think that it is. I don't really know why she has to do this. I think it's her.
I have an opinion on why.
Okay.
And it's based on a real life person who's probably listening to this podcast. So I'm
Joe Biden.
going to try to be generous. I'm going to try to be generous in the way that I talk about this, which is difficult at times. Mm-hmm. So like I had a friend basically reach out to me actively saying, "Hey, what do you think about Kamala?" Right after she got kind of like foisted, I guess, on us, because it's not like we had any choice. And the take that I keep seeing expressed by this type of person again and again online, but also that this guy actually said was like, yeah, Biden's probably so mad that they like didn't pick him. And like that starts you off. That's how Kamala started off, is that for some reason the narrative has been that the Democrats wanted Biden to run again, and that Kamala was like our second choice or something, when like I don't know anyone who liked Biden.
No.
Literally no one liked Biden more than Kamala after his presidency. He's old as shit. We all.
It's funny how Democrats is like, hey, fucking Sleepy Joe, dude.
And that's right. The funny thing is, I don't think Trump is any better, but I also like, if you want to contain the conversation, we're only talking about Biden. I don't like his policies and I don't like his personality. Kamala seems like a better option. Let's try her. Fuck it, YOLO. And then Tim Walz came and I love Tim Walz. So the thing is, he asked me this with already a preconceived notion that like Kamala's like shifty and she's like stealing it from Biden, but the Democrats really want Biden because they're so dumb. And it's like, I try to have the conversation with him of like, bro, like Kamala's actually super conservative. Like if you think she's like super far left and she's actually farther left than Biden, then like you've been fed a bunch of lies.
Yeah, and you're kind of racist.
Like, but literally, and like I'm trying to, because this is a longtime friend, and I really, really, really want to like try to like invite this conversation in, which is not normally what I do. I try to explain like, bro, like don't you see how every piece of media you're seeing is actually just propaganda? It's like disguised as like, we're just a comedy podcast. We're allowed to say funny things. We're also not going to fact check you when you say that like 20% of the workforce is just illegal immigrants who all immigrated yesterday.
Yeah.
And like wild ass claims that have no foundation in reality, right?
Right.
And like, it's because Donald Trump is specifically only going on podcasts where they pretend, we're just a bunch of funny guys being funny. Ha ha. Tell us about your kids. And then he'll slip in, well, yeah, because these immigrants are stealing all the jobs. That's why I told Don Jr. back when he was like 6, I told him, I'm a good father and you should love me. And it's like he'll slip this like bad, shitty fact that's not a fact into a like personal story on a comedy podcast, right?
Right.
Kamala can't do that because they have set up the conversation in such a way that if you want to defend Kamala, you have to immediately start talking about, but she's communist. If you want to defend Trump, then all you have to do is be like, well, he's not that bad a guy.
Right.
And so like he keeps going on podcasts to prove he's not that bad a guy because his fan base doesn't give a fuck about policy.
Yeah, that's the most like infuriating thing. I don't think you're done yet, but if I want to if I want to jump in really quick, like, I mean, it doesn't sound, it's like, I did not watch either of these. I was aware they happened. I did not watch them because I can't watch these fucking people talk. It makes me so angry. It makes me so angry that other people watch this. I'm sad that both of my two dear friends in this room watched these. I cannot help it. But it seems completely normal to me that people would be a lot more aggressive about making a woman defend their position than any man.
Yeah.
But the other just as potent side of this is that like you have one side of the political spectrum that they want to move in a direction, and you have another side of the political spectrum that want to go to a specific place, right? Like, or more accurately, has a bunch of disparate factions within it that each want to go to specific places, right? So like with Trump, you have a lot more freedom to do exactly that, to make him more personable, to talk to him like he's more personal, because his policies don't matter. He is leaned in one direction. It honestly does not matter how far he's leaned in that direction, or like you know what tangents he might go on, because he's in the direction that they want to go. On the other side of it, right? Like, and like I feel like this is like narrow, but like kind of the easiest fruit to pick. But like on the other side of the political spectrum, you have everybody who desperately wants to stop supporting a genocide in Palestine, and then like a forthcoming genocide in Lebanon. You know what I mean? Like as just like one of a bunch of these disparate groups, right? Which Kamala is not, like at the moment at least, does not show any sign of capitulating to, right? So like on the one side, everybody is throwing all of their weight behind Trump because they want any movement in that direction at all, right? In the other side, you've got people who are desperate to move to a specific location, like in this example, one that no longer ships arms to Israel. A bunch of other fucking people who are perfectly fine with shipping arms to Israel, right? So like Kamala Harris has a lot more to kind of like justify herself against, because her actual voting bloc wants things. They want specific things.
So it seems like this is kind of what each of these guys need to do politically in order to make their cases
I
better.
think it's that, but I also think like the end of my point, to like circle it back now that I found the
Sorry.
No. I was getting off on a tangent anyways. But the main thing is like, I'm saying ignoring Trump and ignoring Kamala, take him out of the picture. Andrew Schulz himself has a very vested interest in looking like a guy who doesn't care about politics, because he would benefit a lot if his fan base thought he doesn't really care about politics, he's just trying to be funny, and it would make him harder to cancel, frankly. He believes that cancel culture is real. He is actively part of the pipeline to Joe Rogan. Like, he's part of it. And half his fan base is like, well, he doesn't care about politics. That's fine, right? So like, he has a vested interest in not asking hardball questions. If he gets too political, his jokes aren't as funny. His career is in question. Like, he has that himself, regardless of what Trump is doing or what his plan is. Also, Charlemagne the God feels some pressure, like, oh, we're having Kamala Harris on. I gotta like ask real good, deep. I gotta really grill her. And like, he feels, because his career is kind of like helped if he gets real serious and asks real tough questions. And like, that is separate, I think, from whatever Kamala and Trump's actual like plan or goal was when they went on these podcasts, but is not separate from why they even decided to go. Like, I think it's funny to me And the first reaction I had was, damn, bro, like they're really softballing Trump. And like Kamala doesn't get interviews this nice. And I had the same reaction you did. I think everyone did. I think that's a universal experience upon watching those two. It's like, why the fuck are we doing this? Like, you have Trump's campaign trying to make him likable somehow because he lost his original voter base when he just like kept getting shittier and shittier. And now he's slowly moved to a new voter base, which has been interesting to watch, if nothing else. And then Kamala, who like had a voter base back when and is just trying to like re-rally the same people and hopefully not lose too much ground in talking about politics. And like that's kind of separate from like, dude, both of these podcasts exist in a space where they have a fan base and the people hosting them have careers. And I think everyone involved all knows that you're not really changing anyone's mind. None of this is going to change anything. People kind of already know who they're going to vote for. And so I think it's like a circus in a way that we haven't experienced in recent memory.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. I think that sums it fucking up because, I mean, watching these interviews, I just really felt like, I was like, damn, it really is not, it's not important to people. Bro. Like what happens to this country for real. I got it. Okay. I'm gonna get a little more lighthearted. Did you notice, because you watched the Andrew Schulz interview, did you notice how hard Andrew Schulz co-host was fucking just sucking Trump's dick the whole interview? He'd be like, wow, you're so smart, dude. Like, God, dude, shut the fuck up, you fucking dweeb. God. Yeah, they dweebed out on Trump. It was pretty much like, because they did an episode after that talking about the interview they just did with Trump. And man, they were talking about like questions they wish they would have asked, and it was very much like, we should have asked him about this and this. And it's like, bro, you you
literally had him on your podcast.
You had him on the podcast. You could have asked the question and also, you didn't, like, because you were afraid to offend him.
It was also just really funny because it really is funny. It's sad, but it is funny that like they asked him about like they literally asked him about how do your children love you? How do you maintain being such a strong father and you're having your children love you? And like that was literally their question.
Having to listen to like this is what? Bro, this is why I didn't watch either of them. Because like I imagine having to listen to that. And then he somehow talked
about immigration. It was wild. Like, I don't understand how you didn't realize you were getting fucking glazed, bro. Like, God.
He wanted to get, he likes getting glazed.
But it's like I don't understand how Andrew Schulz can, in good conscience or even like with a straight face at all, pretend he's not political or not specifically not a straight white fucking conservative. Like he's that guy. He's that fucking Joe Rogan ass guy. Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, Andrew Schulz, same guy. Like, same fucking guy. Man, I don't know what's going on with the co-host because that dude. That was crazy. That I like couldn't. I was like, this must be a bit. Like, no.
But
anyways, I just I hope Kamala Harris gets a question like, how do you stay such a strong mother in this time? But she doesn't get questions about actually being a person at all in any way, shape, or form, and no one knows anything about her personality or personal life like at all. And that's by design, man.
All right. Is that an episode?
Yeah, that's an episode. It's got to be an episode by now.
Thank you for listening to the Downstairs.
Peace.
Peace.